Rescue Department for nearly 31 years. And for the last year, it has been my honor to serve as chief of the department. I'm extremely proud to be part of this event today, which pays tribute to fallen emergency responders and raises money for firefighters and their families in need. I'd like to thank Firefighter Aid for having me here today and recognize the hard work their organization does all year long to raise money and take care of our family, brothers and sisters, not only here in the San Diego community, but across our great nation. I know I speak for many of my firefighters when I say, thank you so much for putting on this living memorial each year. Just by being here, civilians and
I want to have an authentic experience, but we're here. My wife is here with us today. Our kids have been here in previous years. And we really are here today to support the men and women who get up every day and are willing to run into the line of danger towards those in need of help, and particularly to honor and commemorate those who died on September 11th, 2001. This is a moment frozen in time that altered the course. In some ways, it seared the consciousness of an entire nation. We remember the nearly 3,000 innocent men and women whose lives were violently taken in a fury of fire and smoke. But today we focus on those lives that were taken by the folks who died doing their job, our first responders. They got up that day and they went to work. When the bell called, they responded. While others ran away, they ran towards. As a proud Marine Corps combat veteran, I couldn't possibly talk and not mention the Marine Corps. But there is a relevant part of this. If you watch the Marine Corps ads, they say there are those among us who run towards the sound of danger. And today we honor those every single day who get up and are willing to run towards the sound of danger. They run into smoke, they run into fire, and we remember those who never came out. Those whose daily job, hardwired into their DNA for who they are and what they do, puts them in danger to protect us all. For our nation, this is a day of remembrance, a day of reflection, hopefully with God's grace, a day of unity and renewal. It's a chance to honor the courage of our first responders and our firefighters. It's also a day of teaching. 18 years ago was a long time ago. Many of us have kids who were not alive then. There's entire generations who have to be taught what happened. It's not seared into their being of knowing where they were. And this is the opportunity for us to tell the next generation of the service and sacrifice.
This country who take the time to remember each and every first responder means so much to me and my family. And all the effort you put into training and fundraising for such an important cause is truly humbling. It is a pleasure to be here with you and share with all of you my experience on 9/11 and the years following. Remembering our fallen and honoring their sacrifice, like Nathan said, is our duty as Americans. Making sure that these men and women did not die in vain is a heavy burden that we all carry. But by showing up here, climbing 110 flights of stairs, and talking about those who were murdered on 9/11, you're remembering them and ensuring their place in history. For that, my family and I sincerely thank you. On September 11th, I was a senior in high school on 16th Street. Rescue 4 is one of the 5 rescue companies that falls under the Special Operations Command in the FDNY. There is one rescue company in each of the 5 boroughs that make up New York City. On major events in the past, the city has sent all 5 rescue companies to respond to major emergencies, like the World Trade Center bombing in '93, and the Father's Day fire in 2001. I'm not sure I really grasped. A few years ago, I got into Rescue 2 in Brooklyn, which is where my father was a fireman for 8 years before he got promoted to lieutenant. It's a surreal feeling that I get to work in the same firehouse as he did. I have pictures of me holding my kids in front of the same door my father held my brother and I 30 years ago. 9/11 was the worst day in many people's lives, including our own. But it's created a lot of friendships and a lot of bonds that hold strong to this day. I know several other firemen that lost their fathers on 9/11, and they're following their father's footsteps, putting on the same FDY uniform with pride. It's a true honor for me to stand here in this uniform that my father and so many others died for. Access to doctors and tests to make sure we can take care of ourselves, not just become another cancer statistic. I encourage all department members to make sure you take the time to stay on top of your own health so that you can perform your best and enjoy the years of hard work with your retirement.
To our communities this past couple of years, and just this past week, San Diego Fire Rescue Department lost one of our own, Captain Robin Cervantes. 2 weeks from today, we're having his service at the Rock Church where I serve. And so let's pause, bow our hearts.
Hey, Carly won.
Thank you, Nathan. Okay, so I gotta follow James. I say it to him because I can. And I say it to him because he's still here. And he always says it back to me. Jared, I know you're sitting backstage. I love you. I didn't go to school for this job, and I didn't go searching for it. It found me. And I can admit, it's been the most exhausting, draining, fulfilling, amazing job I've ever had in my life. One that I never want to walk away from. If you find yourself in a conversation with me today and I'm crying, it's not the beer, it's not the stress, it's because you all have been there for firefighter aid. And you stand for the work that we do, and we cannot appreciate you any.
Be mama like a wind and a rain, be mama like a southbound train, hey. Mama Rocky. He's heading west, and get to Johnson City, Tennessee, and I gotta get a move on straight for the sun. I hear my baby calling my